What's up, YouTube followers? I'm with
Joel M Crooms.
And yes, go ahead.
I'm an artist. I was born and raised in Newark. I was born in the 50s, came up in the 60s, a child of the revolution in the 60s and the insurrection in the late 60s. And I'm politically active all my life, extremely political. And I was fortunate to be blessed at a time when the Black Arts Movement was developing. I was a child when that occurred. Right here in Newark, we had Mary Baraka, we had Dizzy Gillespie, we had Max Roach, Miles Davis.
Max Roach.
Everybody came to Newark and taught us like we were children. Willie Cole will tell you, Ralph will tell you. We had all these men and women come here. I met Gwendolyn Brooks at Bergen Street School, elementary school in Newark. I think I was in the 5th grade. That was when desegregation was just starting. Even though we lived segregated in Newark, it was like when desegregation was starting and black people developing consciousness. They had Dr. King and they had the Black Panthers primarily for us here and the black Muslims right up at mosque number 25 on South Orange Avenue. His brother right over here, Ralph Saunders, his father, was one of the early founders of the black Muslim movement. But all of us, me, him, and Willie, used to go to the Newark Museum right down the street, and we would be in the primarily the Indonesian gallery where they have the Indonesian art, Tibetan art, and the lady used to run us out of there because she thought we was looking at the pictures in a obscene manner, but we were just young kids studying the art. And I always remember there was this one woman and whatnot, I don't know what her ethnicity was, but she said, I've seen these kids coming here for years. They come here to draw, to study, to learn. All three of us, this was before we were welcome in these institutions, right
now,
here in this
what
library.
3 people are you talking about?
My brother Willie Cole, Ralph Saunders, and myself, Joel Crooms. And there was a lot of other young brothers, but we all hung together. And eventually, when me and Willie grew up, graduated from Arts High, I think Ralph went to Vailsburg, we opened up galleries, and we were following. We wasn't the first ones to do it. There was plenty of people that had done it before us, like Ben Jones, and then you had the East Orange, people in East Orange and whatnot, Florian Jenkins and them. And what's the sister that does the artwork with the tires? I can't even remember her name and stuff, but she's famous and stuff now. But we had so many mentors during that time period, and and they nurtured us. And then the politicians, Mayor Gibson, when he came in, I mean, he made sure that we had jobs, you know what I mean, were nurtured and fed. They took it, I never forget, I had never flown on a plane, I'm running my mouth. I had never flown on a plane in my life. And,
my channel don't have all this history.
Oh, okay, well, we'll talk,
that's why
plenty,
I told you.
man. But they used to take us there, they do it right when they took over, after Mayor Ebenezer got kicked out, he was corrupt and whatnot, and Gibson got in, and they made sure the Board of Education sent us on trips. I had never flown a plane, like sent me to Colorado. I've been mountain climbing, brother, 15,000 foot peaks in America, been ice climbing, sent me to San Juan, walk from Colorado over to San Juan, New Mexico, and we came back home with this sense, they instilled in us, like you was talking before, the sense that we could do anything.
Yes.
I never knew that I could be defeated. I never knew that, whether you supported me or not. It was just full steam ahead because of the people that we saw. I remember the Freedom Riders, because we used to think they was crazy, you know what I mean? Because we grew up in Malcolm X and the Black Panther. But when the college students came home, that first summer of '68, I remember they brought home a record with Jimi Hendrix on it. My man Ralph fell in love with it and stuff. Then we got introduced to Miles Davis. When I was in high school, they took us to Boston, up to Harvard, and they took us down to all of the black colleges in the South, Howard University, Morehouse. And at that point in time, I had just read Ralph Ellison and
Invisible Man.
Invisible Man. And what was the other brother, Bigger Thomas, the one Richard Wright story?
Yes.
What was that? A man-child, Promised Land. Read that. So we went down south. There was some schools that was cool, you know what I mean, but then there was other schools where it was almost like watching characters out of those stories. They were so backwards and hat in hand, Thomas people. It was a shame, man. But there was a brother from Philadelphia, Sam Shepard, and he worked at City Hall. Took us under his wing, trained us. Then I met a brother named Dwight Johnson, worked for the Star Ledger. He was a photographer with Muhammad Ali. Took me under his wing. So my own brother, David Crooms, worked for the Star Ledger. And when they had the rebellion in Newark, he got his jaw broken on Bloomfield Avenue and whatnot by Anthony Imperiali's gangs. So, and then Larry Ham was in school. You know Larry Ham? We went to high school together, yeah. Went to Arts High. He and I, the first protest he ever led we ever led was the Student Federation in our time, in our humanities class. Teachers was teaching stuff, and we didn't like what they were teaching because they didn't include any black material. So we had wasn't a sit down. Nobody spoke. The whole class, nobody spoke to the teacher. They went crazy because they said, and we said we're not gonna do this until you like put some black material in the curriculum and stuff like that.
I'm gonna label this YouTube history.
I appreciate that, and I got a bunch of art. I could talk to you for hours. And that brother there, my man Willie, if he take the time, you know, and Ben Jones, Manson Musa, so many people here that are still here, some of them, and most of us have had the chance to travel. Ralph's traveled, I've traveled, Willie's traveled. We're not rich, but you know, rich in intellect,
right,
and family and community.
That's
stuff
what's
like
important.
that.
With your richness and intellect.
And the point I wanted to make before I leave is
make that point.
The millennials that I deal with, especially like
talk right to the quick.
So many millennials, and I have to say the ones I know are really progressive. They are very progressive. They're not negative, you know, and they just need somebody to show them and say, hey, this you can do this. You don't have to like go the other way, because I could have been a dope dealer, could have been a killer, all of that stuff, you know. But one day, a dude came up on me. I was strapped. I was, you know, thinking I got my manhood. And there was this brother, young brother. He was selling me noise on Hawthorne Avenue, you know. So I said, yo, man, you better get out my face. He said, I'll beat you up, you know, if I'm talking polite. So something in my heart said, no, don't shoot this brother. You know what I mean? Don't shoot this brother. Then that night, I went and I saw his I didn't know his mother, sister I went to school with. And she said, yeah, how you doing, Michael? How you doing? I said, I'm cool. She said, this my son. And the kid she introduced me to is a dude I would pop a cap on. And I turned my life around. I said, you know, if I hadn't been rational and realized that my manhood wasn't attached to this guy a little bit younger than me calling me a punk, you know, he'd be dead. I might still be running the streets, but I would have been a monster. And that's what turned me around from being a monster.